Hi everyone, thanks for jumping in with us today. This session is part of our ongoing series where we get together with our valued partners and show how their platforms support functionality that brings to you all as part of Oracle NetSuite. Today we're talking with the team at ProSpend about their Australian built management platform, and as you'll see, it brings a breadth of spend together from personal expenses all the way through to AP automation, all in one platform. We plug straight into Oracle NetSuite, so we get that single view of where money's going as it's going. All right, so from a quick bit of housekeeping before we get into it, you'll see a chat panel on your right-hand side. We want you to drop as many questions as you can throughout the session. We love hearing from you and we love getting the input back. We're also going to have a couple of quick polls as we go along as well. So they'll just sort of hover over the screen and you can put in all your answers to the polls. We use that for sort of ongoing R&D and improvements to product. All right. From an agenda point of view, we'll be going through some welcome introductions, then I'll sort of talk to the Annexa and ProSpend partnership, and then we'll get into the good stuff. And that's going to be going through ProSpend, and we'll see a live demonstration as part of that as well. All right, so in terms of introduction, my name is Bart Wadley. I'm Head of Solutions here at Annexa, and I'm joined by Maz, who is the Channel Partner Manager over at ProSpend, and I've also got Sean with me, who's one of the AEs over there. With our presentation today, it needs to just quickly do a check off on who Annexa is, just for the idea of the webinar series. So, we are one of Oracle NetSuite's leading partners and system integration partners in region. We have a bunch of amazing customers that we work with, and we've been doing this for a very long time. But as part of the Oracle NetSuite platform, we do need to be supported by our partnerships, and collaborating with amazing partners like ProSpend is really what makes our job valuable. So we need strong integration and we need products that solve problems. Okay, so when it comes to ProSpend themselves, we've been in conversations with ProSpend. We've been working with prospective customers. We've been working with mutual customers. And we pretty much fast forward to today, and Annexa is currently using ProSpend, and they've been kind enough to join us in our webinar series. So I think that's enough from me. Remember, keep putting the questions in as we go along, and I'll throw you over to Maz, who can go into the details around ProSpend.
Thank you, Bart. Thank you so much. So first of all, welcome everybody, and thank you for taking the time to attend. It is really great to have everybody here, even though I can't see you all. Generally, we're on stage, but this is awesome to have you all attend. Look, I think managing business spend is still a mess for a lot of companies, right? So many are still juggling spreadsheets, believe it or not, and they're chasing approvals over emails and trying to piece together where the money's going at the end of each month. And it's really, really time consuming. It's frustrating. And more often than not, things really do slip through the cracks. And I'm sure some of you are seeing that already. And in the current climate with costs rising, every dollar is under the microscope. So that's just not good enough anymore. Businesses need to know what's being spent by who and why, and probably more importantly, in real time, not at month end, where other things are also taking precedence. So taking control of your spend isn't just about having money, it's about running a smarter and a more confident business. So who is ProSpend? So ProSpend, formerly known as Expense Manager, so some of you may remember Expense Manager, was a pioneer of the expense management in Australia. It's an Australian-built, as Bart mentioned, it's Australian-built spend management platform. We're serving businesses across Australia and New Zealand since 2015, and today there's over 1,000 businesses, and those businesses take all shapes and sizes, and they're across all industries, whether it's not-for-profit, education, construction, all industries are using ProSpend. So what do? It's bringing together in one unified platform all your expenses, and those expenses are things like reimbursements, card spending, your corporate cards, purchase orders, accounts payable, budgets, and even travel. Within ProSpend, it's all connected, okay? And you've got your approval workflows, you've got policy controls, you've got audit trails with dashboards, all built in. There's no more jumping from one system to another. Everything's in that one platform. So we built ProSpend with two groups of people in mind, your finance team and your employees. So for the employees, it's simple. Capture a receipt, code it, submit it, and accountability for those expenses or invoices are all on the go from their phone within minutes. So the employees are actually being held accountable for the expenses at the time. For the finance teams, it's about having visibility across the business spend. So they're cutting down on all that manual work and actually feeling confident at month end. And that includes reducing time, right, that it takes to complete that month-end process. So ProSpend helps reduce that time. And because you're all on NetSuite, ProSpend integrates directly and seamlessly into NetSuite. All your data flows where it needs to be without any manual effort, which I think is a bonus. The result, you end up with smarter, faster financial decisions for everyone. And it's powered by automation and real-time data, incorporating AI as well. So everybody's moving to that AI and that machine learning platform. And one thing that we're really, really proud of, and me personally, is that ProSpend is Australian. So our support, our training and our onboarding and our data storage are all local. It's all done here in Australia. So what does all that look like in practice? ProSpend is built around 6 core modules, and what makes it really powerful is that they all work together as one connected platform. So you can start with the modules that are most relevant to your business today and add more as the need grows or things change. Whether it's reimbursements, whether it's your existing corporate cards, whether you need to give people virtual cards, whether it's purchase orders, accounts payable or travel, everything sits under that one roof. It's all under one bonnet with one login, one approval framework, and one clear view of every dollar being spent, right, across your organisation. All, again, as I mentioned earlier, flowing seamlessly into NetSuite. So let's have a quick look at them. Reimbursements. Not every expense gets put on a company card, right? Let's be honest. That's just the reality of how people work today. Someone goes and grabs a coffee with a client, or they pay for a taxi, or they pick up some supplies for the office as they're coming into the office, or if they're in a hybrid environment at home. They shouldn't have to chase down the spreadsheet that they need to fill out and then dig out a receipt from the bottom of their bag, which is what I used to have to do, and then wait weeks to get the money back. With ProSpend, employees can submit all their out-of-pocket expenses digitally. It's just a few clicks on their phone, okay? And it doesn't matter where they are. So from there, it goes straight into an automated approval system or a workflow so that the right people are reviewing and signing off without any back and forth or any non-compliant claims yet to be flagged before they become an actual headache for the finance team. So the finance team aren't having to be chasing that around. So the result is faster reimbursements, you've got less admin, and honestly, a much better experience for everyone involved. Employees get back quickly. The finance team has full visibility across and control throughout that whole process. Okay, corporate cards. Now, most organisations already have a corporate card program in place, and they work well until they don't. The challenge is that traditional card programs often force you to choose between giving employees the access they need and maintaining the financial control your finance team actually requires. And when those two things aren't in balance, things can get very messy with, unexpected charges appearing on statements, missing receipts, reconciliation process at the end of the month, which, let's face it, nobody really enjoys. ProSpend connects directly, okay, with your existing corporate card. The card statement feed is overnight automatically, right? So we receive that card feed overnight. So there's no manual data entry, and the employees can attach their receipts and code them on the go right from their phone. So it's matching up that receipt with the card feed that we get overnight. Approval workflows mean the right people are reviewing the spend as it happens, not weeks later. By that stage, it's already too late, right? So with rules up front for approvals, limits and categories, every transaction stays within the company guidelines from the start. So for finance teams with, the difference is real-time visibility across every card, every transaction, every dollar, without having to chase down or wait for the month end to see what's actually been spent within the organisation. Okay, so we look after the corporate cards. We also have the ability to be able to give people virtual cards. So if you cast your mind back, the last time anyone in your team needed a corporate card, right? So if the last time you needed somebody in the organisation that actually needed a card, filling out the forms, waiting for the approval, chasing the bank, and then waiting weeks, sometimes even months, for a physical card to arrive in the mail. Sound familiar, Bart?
Yeah, the Bartholomew and Bart was certainly a hassle with the bank we use.
Yeah. So, and that's not uncommon. It's something that we hear all the time. So, and in the meantime, while that's all happening, employees are either putting their expenses, I'm sure you were probably putting your expenses on your own personal card, or you're waiting to be reimbursed. And even if someone has one, they're actually they could be using petty cash within an organisation, or they're using their own, as I mentioned, their own personal cards to be able to get that money back. So honestly, when we talk about petty cash, you'd be surprised how many people still have petty cash tins, right? So we want to try and get rid of the petty cash tins and make it a lot easier for the teams within an organisation. And that's exactly where ProSpend virtual cards come in. Finance teams can actually generate a virtual card within a minute, and Sean's going to show you how that's done when we get to the demonstration. It doesn't take weeks, whether it's for an employee, whether it's for a specific project or a supplier even, or a one-off purchase that you need. The card's ready to use almost instantly, okay? And when it's no longer needed, you can cancel it as quickly as you set it up. So if it's just that one-off payment, you set it up, that gets paid, and then you can cancel the card immediately afterwards. Every card can be set up with built-in controls. So you can set up the spending limits. It's got expiry dates, approval rules are all set up front as well. Employees can use their virtual card to book hotels. They can purchase flights online. So you can actually use the card online, and it's added into your digital wallet so they can actually tap and pay anywhere, just like they would a physical card. No more petty cash, no more out-of-pocket expenses, no more waiting around, just instant control, okay? With compliant purchasing that works every corner of your business, right? And again, it comes back to that word that I like to use for employees, it's accountability. So it's smarter, it's a more modern way to equip your team. And once you've used it, it's hard to imagine actually going back, really. Okay, very quickly, purchase orders. We've talked about controlling spend as it happens, but what about getting ahead of it entirely? That's where purchase orders come in. So rather than finding out money's been committed after the fact, ProSpend gives budget owners visibility and approval before a single dollar's even spent, okay? So teams can create and submit purchase requests digitally from their phone or from the browser. Everything that you do on the phone, you can do in the browser. They send that through to the right approval workflow so that it goes to the right person, and they have it approved and generated automatically. There's no paperwork, there's no back and forth emails, and probably more importantly, no surprises when that invoice comes in. And because everything's connected from the initial request right through to the invoice and the payment, you've got a clear audit trail within ProSpend of every single step. So again, that accountability without all the admin that comes with it. AP automation, I'm not going to talk about this too much because you guys, most of you are probably already on NetSuite, and you're already probably using some of the built-in AP functionality that's available in NetSuite. But it's also worth just noting that there are other options out there that are available to you. So for some of the team, the NetSuite native AP capabilities cover everything that you need. For others, there might be some gaps, and that's exactly where ProSpend might be able to help. It'll help fill that gap. Because accounts payable is often one of the most, it's the most manual probably and the most vulnerable part of any financial function within a business. With ProSpend, the entire invoice process is automated from the moment the invoice is received through to the approval and the payment. So it's reducing that data entry, removing the bottlenecks, which lots of the teams have, and gives real-time visibility across the whole workflow. And because it's part of the ProSpend platform, again, as I mentioned, everything's connected. The fraud control piece is also just as important, if not more importantly, and this is where I think AI is taking a front foot forward when it comes to these sorts of things, because fraud is, it's everywhere. And yeah, I'm not even going to go down that path. I'll go into a rabbit hole. But ProSpend has built-in control, so it'll validate the supplier information. It enforces the approval rules. It'll flag if there's a duplicate invoice and even suspicious payments. So if the bank account that's not set up in NetSuite isn't what's on the invoice, it'll flag that for you. So the result is a more secure AP process, obviously with less manual effort. Okay, the last one that I wanted to mention here that's in the slide is the travel. A lot of businesses aren't aware that we actually do travel. So if your organisation uses what we refer to as a TMC or a travel management company, this is probably going to resonate with you. But business travel is notoriously difficult to reconcile, especially for businesses that have lots of travel. FIFO, flying in, flying out, for example, some of the big construction companies. So flights, hotels, all your transfers, they're all booked through that travel management company, and they're paid either through your corporate card or, depending on the travel management company, there might be some credit. And then someone has to manually piece all those bits together at the month end. And again, as we know about month end, it's very time consuming, it's tedious, and it takes a lot of time, very, very frustrating. And it's nobody's best friend, nobody likes to do it. So ProSpend Travel changes that completely. It integrates directly with your TMC, the travel management company, to receive that daily feed of the enhanced trip information. And we get that the same day as the card transactions or that credit transaction comes through. So ProSpend smart technology will then automatically match each of the transactions with the corresponding receipt or the invoice that's been generated from that travel management company. So we do all that reconciliation for you. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so that's a little bit about each of those modules. But I just wanted to share another slide because this is a question that I get asked quite a lot. And when I talk to our account management team, which Sean is one of, this is a question that comes up. So I don't want the whole kit and caboodle. What happens if my business grows and I want to scale up? You know, do I have to use the whole thing, the whole platform? And the answer to that is absolutely not. You don't have to use the whole platform, all of the modules. ProSpend is actually designed to start simple and grow with you as an organisation. So some organisations come to us just needing corporate cards and reimbursements. And I would have to say that's probably one of the most popular. So they've already got their own corporate cards, but it's that reconciling at the end of the month that's taking up the time, the missing receipts, etc. So they'll start with the corporate cards, so we can do all that for them, and the reimbursements. And that's a really good place to start. And then from there, funnily enough, they will start to add more virtual cards. And then some will bring in that AP automation, the purchase orders and the travel. So it's not all just one module, okay? You can add new users as well. So that's just as straightforward as adding a module. So as the team grows, getting people up and running on ProSpend. It's really quick and easy with no disruption on the way. So everybody's up and ready to work as they need to. Okay, that's enough from me. I'm going to hand you over to the handsome Sean, who's going to take you through on a very high level demonstration, because we're just conscious of time. So if after the demonstration, you want to know more or you'd like to see more, please, don't make sure you get hold of the guys at Annexa, and they'll be able to provide you with more information, or obviously you can visit the website as well. Okay, Sean, I'm handing over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Maz, and thanks, guys, for coming today. Look, I thought where I'd start off today is I want to log in as an admin user into ProSpend and show you guys just how easy it is to distribute a virtual card. So here at ProSpend, we have a collaboration with Wise Bank. So upon setting up your virtual card, we'll get you set up inside Wise with one central bank account, and all virtual cards that are distributed will be distributed through the Wise Bank bank account. So look, guys, in order to distribute a card, you simply log in as an admin user, head over to manage cards, and it's as simple as clicking issue new card. We do have a two-factor authentication code here. Now, guys, as Maz has said before, virtual cards exist to have sort of control over spend in terms of your daily limits, any monthly limit, as well as being able to add in any sort of rules around prohibiting the spend on alcohol, not being able to use it for gambling or even ATM withdrawals. So guys, all we're doing here, we're going to simply label a card. We'll say card for Kylie. Set any sort of spend limits or rules that we'd like to add in for a card. And then finally, all we need to do is select a relevant claimant, add in their phone number, and then finally an address, and that card is ready to be issued for the team. So it takes at most 1 minute. We'll be able to send out a card that can be activated straight away, and staff can start spending straight away. As you can see here, guys, back on this managed card screen, we are going to be able to see all the statuses of all the cards that we have distributed, as well as a brief look into transaction limits, monthly limits, as well as the amount that's actually been spent on each card through the month. So it's all about having that visibility as well as that control over spend. Awesome, guys. Well, look, from here, I'm going to head over to our mobile interface and take you on a brief run through of ProSpend's expense management system. Now, I thought where I might start is in our receipt vault. So the idea with ProSpend, especially on the expense manager side, is when a staff member is making a purchase, we want to see them adding this receipt into ProSpend. From there, our OCR and AI scanning system is going to scan the key details off of this receipt, that being your supplier, the date of the purchase, the amount, as well as any GST. We're going to pre-fill all that information for your team. So they're going to upload this receipt, they fill in a few quick bits of code, and that's ready to be moved on for approval with your approvers. So guys, I'm going to work through this receipt. As you can see here, we have expense type. Expense type is simply just your GL codes or your chart of accounts in NetSuite. We simply have a list here. If we click, let's say, staff amenities for this example, you can see we have a helpful little pop-up screen here. We can essentially customize this however you guys see fit. If you want to have sort of internal policy there, you can have that. Any sort of tips or tricks, you're able to put them in there. Now, it should be noted here, guys, that with your expense type, based on the expense type that's selected, we have a number of additional fields for your staff to fill in. Obviously, for a staff amenities purchase, it's a pretty straightforward purchase. We can put in a simple description, and we can go ahead and add that to a reimbursement claim. In the case where, say, for example, we're purchasing domestic accommodation, there is a lot more information that can appear here, and we can work with your team to distinguish what fields you want to have in here, as well as which fields are either optional or mandatory. Okay, guys, so look, for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm just going to go in and fill a quick description. We'll say drink for client. And what we can do here is we can actually add this to either a new reimbursement, or we can add it to an existing reimbursement claim. In this scenario, I'm going to create a new reimbursement. I can simply click add to claim. And as you can see here, our reimbursement 3498 has been created. Now, guys, we are able to have multiple expenses go through on one expense claim by simply clicking our add expense button down the bottom here. And from here, I'll be prompted to add in either the receipt, or I can select the expense type and code the receipt. Sorry, code the expense without a receipt. In this scenario, I'm going to select mileage as my GL account. This is, I guess, a unique feature of ProSpend where we can now enter in, a starting destination, being, we'll say, 20 Bungan Street in Mona Vale, going to 65 Berry Street, North Sydney. What our system is going to do here is it's going to calculate the most efficient route from point A to point B. It's going to calculate the total kilometers that's been traveled by your staff member. It will multiply that by your rate per kilometer that you set, whether that's at the ATO rate for mileage or a rate that's determined by the employer. And it will give us a total reimbursable amount ready to be sent to the staff. So it's all about saving time. Obviously, this is great visibility for teams in terms of how much they're actually reimbursing their staff and why they're reimbursing them. And then from here, we're simply filling in all the remaining details and we can get ready to send this off for approval. Just say trip to client. Also, guys, as you can see here, both of our expense lines on our reimbursement are now blue, meaning this is ready to be submitted. Great, guys. Well, look, from here, I'm going to head back over to our web interface instead of our mobile app. Now, we do have the ability to upload receipts from both the mobile app, either taking a photo or uploading from your gallery, as well as uploading straight into our web interface online. And as you can see here, we obviously have invoices and purchase orders. For today, we're going to focus on just our expense management side. Obviously, if you do want more information around our AP automation module, feel free to reach out to the team at Annexa and we'll be able to talk about it as well. So guys, look, I've just hopped into a Amex card statement here. I do want to clarify, this is not exclusive to Amex in any way. Any corporate card or virtual card that you're using through ProSpend, we will get a daily feed of transactions into ProSpend. So as the month goes on, obviously your statement will be building. And what our system's going to do is, based on the receipts uploaded into our vault, we are going to use our OCR scanning and smart match technology to connect the relevant receipt with the associated line on the card statement. So as you can see here, I'll click through, you can see each line has a receipt attached already, ready to go, as well as a lot of the relevant coding. Now, in order to complete our card statement and send it off for obviously approval and then being exported into NetSuite, we still need to fill in a few key details on our highlighted red lines. So if we go in here, we can see we haven't selected an expense type in this example. It's as simple again. We'll click postage. We'll put in a description as it's a mandatory field. We'll say shipping for clients. And we can simply save that. All of our information has been input and this card statement is already ready to be sent off for approval. So guys, look, it is all designed to essentially be quick and easy for both the staff as well as the AP team. We want to ensure that it's not a pain for staff to kind of work through all this stuff. We want to have it nice and quick so they are doing the work, as well as having it nice and accurate so that the AP teams aren't correcting all the information after the fact. So guys, I'm now going to log in as John Red. John Red is our approver in this scenario. As you can see, both our reimbursement claim as well as our card statement have come through to John Red for approval. John Red has full visibility over, both the receipt as well as all coding associated with each transaction. And for whatever reason, if he needs to dispute a transaction, he can simply tick a dispute reason. He can add a reason in this little box here. That will be sent back to our end user. She can rectify any changes as she sees fit and then resubmit that for reimbursement again. Awesome, guys. So look, from here, this all looks pretty good. So I'm ready to go ahead and approve this reimbursement. And I will do the same with our card statement. before we move on to the AP team. Awesome, guys. So I'm now going to log in as Jackie Violet. Jackie Violet is our AP persona in this example. She, again, has full visibility over our card statements, as well as reimbursements. She can make any changes to, coding if she sees fit. Say, for example, this was meant to be a marketing trip. We can simply make that change. We can hit save, and all of this will actually be reflected in our little history log up the top here. And this is obviously just a full audit trail of a card statement from start to finish. It's going to show you what changes have been made, who they've been made by, and when they've been made. So we can just keep track of everything and make sure it's all above board. Also, guys, look, before I finalize this, I just want to explain a couple more things with, I guess, the AP persona. We have the option to finalize, which means that this card statement is complete. It cannot be edited in ProSpend anymore, and it's ready to be exported into your accounting system. We have reject, which is going to send this card statement back to our Kylie, our end user. She's going to have to rectify any changes, and it will need to go back through the approval process. And then finally, we have review required, where this will be sent back to Kylie again. She can make any changes, as we can note down here, and then it will go back to the AP team skipping approval. So we kind of have that flexibility for end of month scenarios as well. Also, guys, look, this all looks good to us. We're ready to go ahead and finalize these transactions. Now, as you guys are probably aware of, we do have a native API integration with NetSuite. So it's as simple as, searching for your expense report, your journal, your bill, what have you. You can select the relevant claims here. And it's as simple as clicking our Send to NetSuite button. That will send it straight through into your NetSuite environment, and you will have a little export reference here. So you can just view the claim after the fact. Awesome, guys. Look, that is a pretty sort of quick and high level overview of our expense management system. Again, if this looks like it's anything of interest to the team, we'd love you to reach out to Annexa. If you want to check out our website as well, that should be linked in the details after the fact. And yeah, thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. As promised, we've got a few questions that have come through in the chat. So we'll tick through a couple of those before we finish up for today. Hopefully the demonstration was super relevant, right? So those features we're hearing from all our customers on a daily basis to have direct feeds and virtual cards and, smart matching technology. It's what you're all asking for, and that's where this sort of partnerships come from. So Maz, I'll let you sort of roll through these questions.
Yeah, there's a couple here. The first one is can ProSpend handle custom fields and segments? The answer to that would be yes. We can set up because you might have, depending on the business, you might have certain projects, you might have different cost centers. So we can actually set those up to reflect your particular industry and what you're requiring. So yes, we can absolutely do that. There was another question here, that was sorry, apologies, I just clicked on the wrong thing then. That was asking about, sorry, I'm just trying to find it now. It was to do with the workflows. So, here it is. Does ProSpend honour the NetSuite approval process? So we obviously have our approval processes as well. So yes, we can work with the NetSuite approval process that can be then brought into ProSpend as well. So we would work with you to work out what you've actually got set up in ProSpend and be able to ensure that they are mirrored in, what you've got set up in NetSuite and that they are mirrored in ProSpend.
Yeah, we look at that from a process flow and a user persona point of view, just for everyone on board. So, if you've already done the approvals in ProSpend and they're matching what you were doing in NetSuite, then we don't need to double up. But they could be different personas and you want to still do something on the NetSuite side after you've done the simple checks on ProSpend. But yeah, both are possible.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's the biggest advantage, isn't it, Bart? Having you guys use the product internally. The frustrations that you've seen, and you use NetSuite obviously, so you can see the benefits to it there. Yeah. I love the story that you shared about how long it took you to get your corporate card. That worked out very, very well for me. Okay, so the custom fields. The last one that we've got here is what is the advantage of doing an executive payment review in ProSpend? I'm not 100% sure what the viewer is asking. Bart, have you got some insights on that? What's the advantage of doing an executive payment review?
I think it's just more involved in the approval flows and that sort of end overall review of, the full spend at end of month. But yeah, I think they've probably seen from the demonstration today about how everything is sort of just brought together overall. So yeah, I think the platform speaks for itself when it comes to that sort of final reviews and checks and approvals before sending them across to NetSuite.
Yeah, I think with the approvals, the approval workflows are obviously really important because it depends. A lot of businesses, some of their approval workflows that they're setting up are based on dollar values. Others might be based on you've got to go to a manager first, like the line of authority. So we work very closely with during the onboarding process to make sure that we understand exactly how they need to be set up to make sure that it's done properly. But then obviously they can be added and amended as time goes on. I just wanted to make a really, really quick, there was no other questions in there unless there's any that have popped up late. Bart, is there anything else that's come up?
No, I think we're good.
We must have done a good job then, is what I've got to say, isn't that? But what I wanted to do is I wanted to comment on the polls. Thank you very, very much for taking the time to ask the polls. And I think this is really important. And I just wanted to share the results so everybody knows, because I think sometimes as an organisation we think we're out there by ourselves. Are other businesses having the same? So I just wanted to share very quickly the results of the polls. So the poll where we talk about the journey, where are you in your ProSpend management journey? Well, I think the most common one there is comparing platforms on a shortlist. So there's obviously a few customers that you've got there, Bart, which is nice to see, that they're comparing, because I think every platform will do. We all have the basics, but some do something a little bit different, and someone else will do something else a little bit different. So I think that's great. What's the biggest headache when it comes to business spend in your organisation? Well, this is hands down chasing receipts and approvals. So, if you were wondering whether you were the only one out there suffering from that problem, well, no, you're not. And there was one or two people that mentioned that there's no visibility until it's too late. And I think that is one of the things that we actually mentioned a couple of times. And then reconciling card transactions, but definitely the chasing receipts was the number one there. And then the last one was how are you managing expenses and business spend today? Well, again, the front runner was a mix of manual processes and some software. And then there were a couple also that have got tools already integrated that you're using with NetSuite, which is fantastic as well, right? So yeah, look, that's actually it from me. I don't have any other comments or to make. I just want to say a massive, massive thank you again to Annexa. We will love working with you guys. The thing that I think we love the most is the value that you put on your customers and what you provide for them. So thanks for the opportunity and introducing us to some of those clients. It's been awesome.
No, thank you so much. So that's us for today. Yeah, big thanks to the team from ProSpend. Thank you for giving us your time. After this, we'll send out the recording for anyone that wasn't able to make it today. If there are any follow-ups on the back of this, make sure that you reach out to either ProSpend or your customer success manager, and we'll make sure that we can get in touch with you all. And as always, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.